Hello, bad boys. If you want to win a $50 Amazon gift card, all you have to do is like, comment, and subscribe to enter our giveaway. MMA is a sport which gives you a spotlight on the world of combat sports, both for the good and the bad. And in well-known MMA organizations, such as the UFC, there is often no place to hide from the shocking and unwanted moments. In an age of media saturation and various prolific social platforms, even a single click is enough to get the shocking reality out of the bag. The UFC is being watched in every country all over the world, and no doubt, every MMA fan has gotten at least a glimpse of the fighter's lifestyle. Now, let's take a look at 10 shocking pictures that the UFC doesn't want us to see. Watch the video till the end, as this is going to be a roller coaster ride from start to finish. 1. Jon Jones Mugshot. Jon Jones is not far from being called the greatest of all time in the light heavyweight division history, and it seems that he would acquire this status outside of the octagon as well. The UFC has invested and promoted Jones since he became the youngest champion in history, and his fighting skills continue to demonstrate his worthiness of the title. However, Jones' life outside the ring is not as cool, as he tends to get into trouble pretty often. Jones has been arrested on many different occasions, such as for traffic violation, negligent use of a firearm, possession of an open container, and many other similar crimes. He has not yet served a long jail sentence. However, his mugshot has become viral all over the internet, and also his picture from the courtroom is totally embarrassing for the UFC. The UFC definitely doesn't want to spoil their prestige with the mugshots of one of their greatest champions.
Did you just hear a gunshot?
I did it.
You did hear one?
Yeah, I did.
Where'd it come from?
Who knows?
What's all this green substance you got all over you?
Jason, I'm just going for it.
2. Dana White's private holder. Dana White never forgets to show who is the boss and often keeps fighters at a distance. However, Tiki Gossin, an MMA veteran, seems to be very close to Dana White. In this photo, we can see both of them sharing a bond. However, Tiki's brotherhood went too far when he ended up holding Dana's private. Dana did not mind to share that moment with Tiki. However, when this picture rolled the internet, the UFC and Dana started trying to pretend it doesn't exist and not giving it any attention. As all of Dana's comments, this pic also must be from a parallel universe. 3. What's going on? Ronda Rousey is easily one of the greatest and most iconic female fighters in UFC history. Along with her amazing and beautiful looks, she is no doubt a UFC diva who is followed by millions of UFC fans. She has taken her name to heights and worked hard to achieve that status. However, we often tend to forget she is also a human like anyone else, who has friends and a personal life. This picture of her surfaced on the internet with one of her friends undoing her belt with their teeth, while Rhonda looked pretty embarrassed. The UFC may have never otherwise thought that Rhonda would party in such a way. 4. Chuck Liddell's quality time. Chuck Liddell is quite popular in the MMA universe for having heavy hands and brutal knockouts. With all that fame in his prime career, Chuck certainly liked party life and boozing around in pubs and bars. This photo of his charismatic lifestyle still continues to roll on the internet, which includes topless women, alcohol, and huge stardom. Even though Chuck is retired from fighting, he has his own restaurants and bars to allow him to keep living that stylish life. This may be due to Iceman's UFC legacy. However, the UFC doesn't want to approve or be any part of this. 5. Handcuffed Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor is a living legend in the sport of MMA. No fighter can win the social race when it comes to Conor's fame and stardom. With all that spotlight, even a single mistake can be a turnover. This is what happened when Conor, out of revenge against Khabib Nurmagomedov, attacked a UFC bus at Barclays Center with a dolly. This incident was a total disgust for the UFC, and also led to the UFC starboy being criminally charged. Conor's photo in the courtroom, with his arms handcuffed behind his back, was a bitter reality for many MMA fans, and the UFC would never want to sell this at all. 6. Rampages Party. There's no wonder that Quinton Rampage Jackson parties hard with such a lavish personality. We may have seen Jackson's dark side in the octagon, knocking out opponents and howling furiously. However, this photo of him doing some mean things in the dark at the nightclub reveals some shady business. Just as Jackson never shies to open up in the cage, he also doesn't seem to care what the rest of the world thinks about him. The UFC may not have been a fan of this, but Rampage seems to be quite open about it. 7. Mayhem in the UFC. Jason Mayhem Miller was always known as an eye-catching performer, both in the ring as well as in his personal life. As his name may imply, Mayhem can't stay out of trouble, starting from domestic abuse, stalking, to being arrested for passing out naked in a church. A SWAT team was called in 2014 for an escalated situation in which he barricaded himself in his home and not surrendering to the Orange County Police. Mayhem was also treating around about it the entire time. These photos of his apprehension did not take long to go viral. 8. Nick Diaz's mugshot. Nick and Nate Diaz never shy to flaunt themselves smoking weed and hanging out occasionally with their gang while creating chaos. The Diaz brothers have proven to the MMA universe that they are the real deal. However, Nate's elder brother Nick has a real problem with alcohol. This particular mugshot is from his arrest in 2015 for his 3rd DUI. With having been already charged for DUIs twice, Nick still managed to spend only 2 days in jail for the 3rd incident. Nick tries to ignore this side of him, but the UFC, on the other hand, are not at all pleased with his antics.
Do you have any message to your fans about the arrest or anything, or when are you going to fight again, brother?
Oh, I'm 100, man. I'm gonna fight next year.
Oh, really? When was that?
Fight next year. Next year, bro.
Dude, we're pumped. Who are you going to fight?
9. Feminism. Feminism is quite a typical and difficult topic to speak about upon any given stage. However, in 2015, the UFC was also struck by this word when UFC fighter Beck Rawlings created havoc on Twitter by posting a nude selfie about New Age feminists and how they adversely affect both women and men. She posted a pic with one arm covering her breast by giving a middle finger and covering her private parts by the other hand, with a message for the true human rights believers. The UFC did not take it well, and they definitely don't want their fighters to act in such a way.
I think it was the excitement of the unknown for me. I'm a weirdo like that. I enjoy just doing weird shit like that. I don't know what's gonna happen. I get an adrenaline rush over that.
10. Beaten up face of Georges St Pierre. Georges St Pierre is widely considered to be the greatest mixed martial artist of today's time. His fabulous reign as a champion, dominating opponents both standing as well as on the ground, gave him the real GOAT status. However, one moment the UFC wants to delete from their memory is when George was punished by the hands of Johnny Hendricks at UFC 167. George got the controversial win. However, his pic with his battered face, bruises, and cuts all around it from the post-fight press is not at all compelling for the UFC. Dana White in particular was quite upset about it. In today's age of pay-per-view and live streaming, there is not a single clip which can be ignored by the UFC. The UFC always works to take care of their reputation in the MMA world, and don't want a single error to spoil its legacy. Fighters can be controlled in the octagon. However, as humans, they too have personal lives, in which things may and often do tend to go wrong. It may be a tiny mistake, but can affect the company in millions. And this may clear the doubt why the UFC don't want to take any risks.
Did you see George get smashed and hurt in the first round? It's about damage. This is a fight. It's whoever inflicts the most damage. You got hurt, you got wobbled, you get dropped.